Well, you're back with your Global Business Report this Thursday. The Afreximbank Compliance Forum 2025 is shining a spotlight on how artificial intelligence is transforming the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing across Africa. From Kigali, Rwanda's capital, experts say AI is helping financial institutions make compliance faster, smarter, and more inclusive. But experts warn that as these tools become widespread, ethical concerns and data governance must remain a priority to ensure trust and transparency. Arise News correspondent Nisi Gabriel, who is in Kigali, spoke to Nagarajan Vijay, the Director of Payments Market Planning at Nexus Risk Solutions, a key sponsor of the Afreximbank Compliance Forum, and other speakers.
Compliance is a catalyst for trade, and here at the Afreximbank Compliance Forum 2025, artificial intelligence takes the center stage as financial compliance regulators, fintech innovators, financial stakeholders from across Africa and the globe gather in Kigali to discuss how institutions can integrate AI for a more secure, efficient, and transparent global trading environment. Compliance regulators are seeking to shift from reactive to proactive compliance by tackling risks even before they arise.
The key things that we have talked about mostly in today's session has been around two things. How do we fast forward Africa along the same lines as all the other compliance postures of all the other countries and continents across the world? And the second challenge that we've been talking about today, if you see some of the panels earlier, is around trade-based money laundering and how do we access data, how do we understand data, and how do we interpret the data and intelligently take decisions on that particular data. So if you see, most common word that has come in across is around the data. So that's where LexisNexis comes in, because we collect petabytes of data and we are in the business of supporting financial institutions across the world. Our clients are across 176 countries. We understand jurisdictions across the globe, and how we support is being an amalgamated solutions provider from a data perspective. So we hold the data, understand it, prepare them and keep them for the safety of our clients. And then from that, we basically extend that information into providing them with seamless and frictionless kind of solution, whether it is payments, whether it is behavior on fraud and identity, identifying phishing, money mules, or even compliance aspects of everything that Afrexim is being talked about most around trade-based money laundering, dual use of goods, sanction screening, and identifying UBOs through shell-based companies and so on.
Yeah, people have tried to work on explainable AI for many years without success, even using smaller, simpler models, before the generative AI. With generative AI, it's literally impossible to have explainability. These are very, very, very large regression models, neural networks, with a huge number of parameters. ChatGPT is up in the trillions of parameters. So trying to understand why this regression model reached this decision 0-1 versus some other is almost a useless activity. But what we found, and we call this experiential AI, is that AI with the human in the loop. The human can be used to check the results, because often these machines make errors. Google likes to call it hallucinate. I like to call it they make errors. And the second part is the human is the only one who understands what is the purpose, what is the intent. The machine is just trying to replicate patterns that it saw in documents. So the idea here is you use the machine to speed up a lot of the laborious, repetitive, I call it robotic work of checking documents and checking names and checking forms and all of that, but then bring it all together in a way that the human expert can then quickly analyze it and say, okay, this is complete or it's missing a few things. That feedback of it's missing a few things is very useful to make the machine better, but at the same time, it is essential to make sure that the machine is doing the right things.
But we need to come together and discuss how can we use AI ethically? How can we use it to be more? How can we make it more inclusive? How can we mine data? Data is king. It used to be oil is king, but data is king. How can we make sure we have quality data? And how can banks define their risk appetite based on context? Context matters. African context, don't define your risk appetite based on other climbs. So if you define, let's assume there's a woman that has been trading. What are you going to use to judge her? She might not have the ledger you're looking for. Are there other things she might have? Maybe there's a cooperative society that she belongs to. Maybe there are some patterns that will help us assess. So that is what inclusive AI, especially for SME, would involve for Africa.